So basically, the little, I guess I'm going to call her Spanish lady, indigenous. I'm really not sure whether she's Spanish, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino. I don't know the difference between any of that. But she was basically acting as a liaison between myself and Paul Dragon to report any messiness. And when I said I need to go to Georgia because I'm not the real target. My father, they're just trying to kill me to kill my father as a Navy veteran. And she said, well, maybe you could go down there for a little while and then just come back. She basically quoted my social media. And she said, why don't you go to the food shelf tomorrow? And this was Saturday night. She didn't realize it wasn't open Sunday. And I even posted, I'm not going to the food shelf today. It's not open. And Sunday, we went back to Miller Center, and I told her, I said I couldn't go to food shelf today because it wasn't open. She says, well, we'll go tomorrow. You want me to tell Brianna? Somebody with a B. Name starts with a B, a lady. You want me to tell Brianna or Brianna or whatever name is that you're coming? And I said, please do. So there's going to be a text message from her to somebody's name that starts with B. I'm sure your surveillance caught it. No telling what she told her. But she was admitting to me, and I have no doubt that the state police and Hochul's independent federal investigators and the independent JAG investigators got the Miller Center wired for sound and audio long before we ever got there, and probably captured all my conversations with all of them, including Paul and Donna and whoever else. And they're all basically admitting, yeah, your dad needs to take care of this because he's military. Okay, you're confessing that all your organizations are involved in racketeering that makes false criminal allegations against kids and parents to justify separating the parents to take the kids away. Meanwhile, you're murdering people by not treating their cancer, making false criminal allegations, defrauding all these public benefits as charities that are government contracted and mandated to report. So, you just saw me run a prodigious one-woman sting operation on the whole goddamn lot of them, and I got all of them, including Paul, the guy with the beard who walks like a Oompa Loompa. He's the outreach and Howard Center crisis, God help us. And he even said, yeah, you just definitely for your debt. So he basically admitted, I'm a target. And I said, I'm not the real target. My dad's the target. He's military. His military people can. And he was like, oh, yeah. He was basically saying, yeah, you're right. He needs. So just so all you boneheads know, it ain't going to be my word against yours. So y'all are admitting your organizations are committing all these crimes against me and my family, and getting on your phone and reaching out to Feeding Chittenden to let them know I need a bus ticket to go tell my dad about how they're murdering me so they can kill him. And then because he's a drug and child sex trafficking terrorist insurgent, and he trafficked me and molested me and got me addicted to drugs as a drug and child sex trafficking terrorist insurgent, misusing his military skills. And then all the doctors down there or whoever in Homeland Security is probably falsifying the records of all my nieces and nephews, trying to say they're showing signs of trauma and all this crap, and you're doing the traumatizing, but blaming it on him and my mother. Not that my mother and her relatives didn't do plenty of their damn selves. But the point is, y'all confessed to it. And you sent me to feeding Chittenden, or tried to get me to get a bus ticket. Never mind your little trolls, your little PIs like Trey Parker and the one in Buffalo that was dropping Tish James's name, saying he wanted to take me to Arizona or Florida where it was warm. Oh, and you had Trey Parker calling me at midnight after I left a new place and went to my camp to stay permanently. The one you just shut down based on bullshit. You had him saying, "Oh, I'm gonna buy a car and we'll go to Florida where it's warm and I'll uh, pretend to sleep with your boyfriend and then kill him." Like, how did you know he was gay? Because I just told you he was my boyfriend. I never told you that. So how did you know that? So, they've been trying to get me out of the state anyway, out of Hochul's jurisdiction. First they wanted me out of New York, then, New York has jurisdiction here, and because UVM is licensed with New York Medicaid and licensed, most of these doctors are licensed through New York Department of Health, and both as doctors and nurses and whatever, but also as clinics, because they have that separate agency that governs clinics and hospitals, because they operate. UVM has 3 hospitals in New York. So yeah, I just handed you all of them on a silver platter, and they didn't see it coming. Meanwhile, you got all those text messages flying back and forth while they're trying to make excuses for assaulting that man with an unnecessary Narcan, or Narcane, whatever the hell it's called. So yeah, what else? And then what I'll do is I'll send an email. I'll forward that email I just sent y'all. I'll forward that to McAfee as soon as I'm exhausted. I'll look for the photo of her business card in my Google Photos, and I'll email it to her and make sure I put a note in that forward that one of the perpetrators of all this is my ex-boyfriend, ex-living boyfriend and employer, attorney C. Chad Cronin JD, that's basically in bed with Alan Dershowitz and convicted fraudster Rick Scott and DeSantis and Jerry Demings, Mayor Jerry Demings, Weinberger, and all these Iran-Contra, the Bushes and Trump and whatever. Remember, Trump was going to make convicted fraudster Rick Scott I think he wanted him to be an attorney general or some shit. I know he was supposed to be Trump's Trump care advisor. So, anyway, there you go. You just cook some shit up and make sure you distract and make it look like they're not the target, they're the victim, and if the whole time I'm basically played good cop and bad cop at the same time. And they're all basically trying to say, yeah, we were forced to falsify our record of all that. You're fucking cops. Can't nobody make you do shit. And if anybody's making you do that, y'all stick together to protect yourselves really goddamn well when you want to. Ain't nobody gonna bully you bunch of fucking frat boys and sorority girls. Fuck out of here. So, I don't know what up to help, but I don't know. I went and got another sleeping bag. Hopefully I'm not out. Hopefully you all can, make something happen quick here. I mean, I just did 6 years worth of work in a week and a half. It took a little longer than that, but I started with the stuff of, I don't get victim services, I'm going to leave. I started with that bullshit. Oh, after they served me with the no trespass and the in the restraining order. That was December 5th. But that's not it didn't take me that long. It took that long for me to go to the Miller Center. So once I got in there and started working my good cop magic on them, and they were like, yeah, that's it. We were bullied. We were all bullied into murdering you. Oh, and they bullied us into murdering you so they could murder your father? Well, shit. Yeah, we'll send it to Georgia so you can tell him. Motherfuckers, you're cops. You're supposed to be picking up the phone and telling everybody. So stupid, woke ass. You can't think stupid. You woke ass motherfuckers. I'm gonna laugh my ass off all